We got an email from Dave in Danville, Illinois. I collect and save lots of MP3s and MPEG videos. My 30 gig hard drive is almost full. I'd like to know what my options are on hard drives above 80 gigs. Wow!
That's out of control.
Well, nobody makes anything, even 80 is the top right now,
80 is
isn't
the
it?
top.
For
Actually,
IDE.
IBM maxes out at 75, Seagate at 40, Maxtor at 80.
Okay.
SCSI or IDE.
Top.
Yeah.
So really what you're going to have to do is ultimately there will be larger than 80. I mean, that's inevitable. In fact, it's amazing. I've been around a long time. 10 years ago, if you had asked me what's hard drive technology going to be like in the year 2001, I'd say forget hard drives. Moving parts are dead. It's going to be solid state memory. You're going to have gigabytes in a chunk of memory. But that didn't happen because it turned out hard drive technology had a lot more life in it than anybody imagined.
Why didn't we put that as one of the technologies to look for in 2001?
A bigger and bigger hard drive. So what you're going to have to do right now, in fact, it's better. Yeah. IDE, believe it or not, when it was originally introduced, was designed, the top biggest hard drives they had, right? How big do you think they were?
Oh, 4 megabytes.
No, they were bigger than that. 512 M, not G, MB.
That's megabytes.
Was the top. And IDE, still to this day, technically, really is limited to 512 megabytes. They play tricks on the controller to get it to be larger. So as you get bigger and bigger, it makes me nervous, frankly. Because you're doing stuff with IDE was never intended to do. There's a couple of choices for you. You got basically all the choices are going to involve stacking hard drives, in effect. Taking multiple, say, 40s and getting 120 or 160 out of it. Now, there's two ways to do that. You can do it with IDE with something called IDE RAID, which connects these together. An IDE striped RAID or RAID 0 array would allow, it basically takes these, and in fact, this is a really good way to go. I have an IDE striped IDE array of 2 9s to give me an 8. What it looks like is one single large drive. So this would look to your system like a 160 megabyte drive. It's even faster than 160 though, because it's what happens is it writes here, then it writes here, then it writes here, then it writes here. So the latency, and then it comes back and writes. So the latency of the drive coming all the way around is eliminated, so you get much faster throughput on
Just don't let it ever crash.
Well, and I haven't had any problem yet. Of course, I've only been using it for a few weeks. But the danger of this is, of course, reliability issues.
Exactly. And this is part of the issue that comes up. When you're talking about storing this much data anywhere, you're talking about it's almost impossible to back up unless you either start spending thousands of dollars or you use RAID mirroring, which actually writes the same stuff to two separate hard drives.
Turn this into 0 plus 1. Use these as 180 and mirror to this. It's going to be a little bit slower, but then you've got redundancy and you're protected. That's probably a very good way to go.
If you think about it, if you're making MPEG videos, this is what professionals do, right? When
that's exactly right.
Storage, because you know what, it's almost impossible to replace that much data in anything that resembles a timely fashion.
Now, professionals don't use IDE. They use SCSI, because that's really what SCSI was designed to do. The original SCSI cards could handle up to 7 devices, 7 drives. This is an Ultra 160 card, dual channel. It means each of these channels on this card can handle 7 drives, a total of 14 drives. You multiply 14 by 80, you tell me what that gives you. It gives you a lot of storage.
I mean, think about it. It was basically designed to handle multiple drives. So you've got cables. We just love cables.
This is a 160 cable.
So what do we have here?
1, 2, 3, 4 items on this.
1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 4 items.
And now, of course, that's just the beginning of your SCSI chain. You can even go out the back. They have a connector in the back, too. So you really can get a lot of hard drives on there. These can be rated or not. That's the nice thing about SCSI. You could also just merely be daisy-chained together, which still gives you, it doesn't look like one drive if it's not rated, but it still gives you a lot of storage. I don't like one drive. One drive makes me nervous. I have multiple drives in all my systems.
That way, you don't lose any of it if you lose part of it. EID, all you're going to have is the 4 devices on the board, or you plug in a second card, you plug in 4 more devices, and you only jump in increments of 4. When you're talking about huge amounts of storage, that's going to be a problem.
Yeah. Don't worry about 80 gigabyte drives or 80 plus gigabyte drives. Get 440s. You'd be much happier.